This is kind of a big deal because the lunar nodes are changing signs on January 11th, which is basically setting us all up for a brand new chapter, for brand new evolutionary and karmic themes in our lives for the next 18 months. On January 11th, the lunar nodes switch from Aries and Libra to the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how this is going to affect all of us collectively and also affect you personally and specifically affect you. I'm going to take you through all the steps to figuring out how to pull up your transit chart and how it's going to affect you. January 11th and so on for the 18 months, we are experiencing a complete paradigm shift, a new storyline, a new timeline, a new plot, a new chapter, a new beginning for all of us. The North Node rules your destiny. It rules your evolution, and it will be showing you what your destiny will be like for the next 18 months. And the South Node rules your karma, and it will be showing you what you need to work on and release and let go of for the next 18 months as well, and what you need to learn a lesson in, basically. Really the big theme of this whole lunar shift with Pisces and Virgo. Pisces and Virgo are very similar signs, but they're also very, very different. They're in opposition with each other, right? And Pisces is all about spirituality. It's all about compassion and intuition and trusting in God and trusting in the universe, right? So when you look at the North Node, it's basically like where you kind of need to grow in your life and where you can find a lot of abundance, especially in the house that the North Node is transiting through, which I will take you through how you can figure this out. But the house that it transits through is the area of your life that is going to blossom and grow. But because you also need to work with the South Node and the North Node together, you need to work on the South Node and work on the lessons that the South Node is teaching you, that karmic lesson. So maybe this is like letting go or releasing something in that area of your life where the South Node is transiting through, whatever house that is. Or it's like releasing the need to control that certain area of your life, because Virgo is very control, detailed oriented, like having a plan, right? Like rooted on perfectionism. So what this South Node and Virgo journey is teaching you is to let go of the perfectionism, let go of the need to have everything be so pretty and so prime and so perfect, letting go of the need to micromanage this area of your life, letting go of the need to control every single detail. And a main theme also is letting go of the need to know exactly how you are going to reach a goal or a desire or a manifestation or that next phase in your life, knowing exactly how you're going to get there. You do not need to know exactly how you're going to get there. All you need to know is what you want and that you are going to get there. And a huge lesson of this lunar node journey that we're on with Pisces and Virgo is Pisces is all about trusting the universe and just letting things flow, right? It's like putting your whole trust in the universe. It's like the law of detachment, right? Like letting go of your desires, releasing your desires. And when you do, you receive your desires. It's trusting in the universe wholeheartedly, having so much faith in the universe, having so much faith in God, whatever you believe in. But Pisces is deeply rooted in spirituality. And also a lot of the themes that we are going to see collectively is a collective kind of conscious shift. Because Pisces is so deeply rooted in spirituality and compassion and intuition, our intuition is going to be incredibly heightened. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, right? So this could be big pharma, this could be hospitals, themes of vaccines, drugs, medicine, all these themes collectively. Botox, film, music, creative arts, visual arts, alcohol, spirits, travel, retreats, your psyche, your subconscious mind, the ocean, the sea, water, a lot of water energy because it's Neptunian energy. So a lot of these things are going to be really, really shifting within our collective world. And this, switch into this new lunar nodes, it also kicks off the eclipse season of 2025, which starts in the spring. And with eclipses, there's a lot of lessons to be learned there, especially, the eclipses with the South Node and eclipses with the North Node. The South Node, releasing, letting go of that, a huge lesson in there. And also with the North Node, solar eclipse, it's about learning and making sure that you can utilize the energy of your South Node to get to your North Node abundance, because I feel like North Node has so much abundance there for you, and it can be opened through the South Node. Now the next 18 months is really all about like what feels good to you, what spiritually feels good to you. It's all about following your intuition. It's not about what other people want. It's not people pleasing. You're not in service to others. Like Virgo is a very like service to others sign, right? It's like literally means you're service, it's just you're in service to others, you're helping others. But you kind of want to stay clear of that. Like obviously you want to bring the lessons, you want to still help others, but you want to focus on yourself a little bit more, and you want to focus on your spirituality a little bit more, and you want to follow your gut, and you want to follow your intuition, and just like entertaining only what nourishes you, like what nourishes deep in your soul. And I feel like this is such an amazing time for like creatives and like visual artists and musicians and anyone that is like has a really creative mind, because you were really able to follow that creativity and really, you know, especially follow that creativity in that certain house that the North Node is transiting through. And Pisces too, Pisces is a mutable sign, right? And when the North Node is in a mutable sign like Pisces, like things are very interchangeable. Pisces is a water sign, right? It's like the two fishes, and like it's very like you can go one way or you can go the other way. You don't have to go one way, you don't have to go the other way, you can go both ways. It's very interchangeable. Like you don't have to make up your mind and stick to it, you can change your mind. And it's okay to change your life. It's okay to change the direction of your life if it doesn't feel spiritually fulfilling. It's okay to make a decision just based on your intuition. Now, what you want to be doing during this North Node in Pisces is focusing on your creativity, focusing on your spiritual practices. So like meditation is going to help you so much. And if you are not someone who meditates, this is your sign to start meditating. This is also like my Pisces themes are like a lot around solitude and like seclusion, so be careful of like spending too much time in solitude. But you also want to like sit alone with your thoughts and journal. If you don't have a journal, like make sure you get a journal and start journaling down your thoughts. Surrender to the universe, accept what is, let go of your desires, practice the law of detachment. This is also a great time to travel, get away from it all. Pisces just wants you to like flow with the universe and trust in the universe and be free and not be tied down to control everything like South Node and Virgo. Now you really want to be looking at the houses the North Node and South Node are transiting through, because that is going to show like the next chapter of your life, because houses represent different areas of your life in your birth chart, right? Like you have 12 houses, and for when the lunar nodes were in Aries and Libra, they were transiting a certain house, which was a certain chapter of your life. So also you can also look at that to see like what area of your life was, you know, being activated at that time, and see like what lessons you learned, and like really take a second to reflect on that. But then also look at what's to come and really set intentions for your North Node journey, and also set intentions for release in your South Node journey. It's just important to like understand like how the energy is beforehand, to know like what you're getting yourself into and how you can work with the energy. So now I'm going to show you exactly how you can pull up your very own transit chart to see exactly what houses the North Node and the South Node will be transiting through and will be activating in your life. What's your next chapter in your life? I'm going to share my screen with you in a second. Now I'm going to take you through how to pull up your transit chart and also how to read it. So you'll also be seeing exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so it's easier for you guys to follow. So step number one is you're going to go to Google and you're going to search up AstroSeek Transit Chart Calculator. And then you're going to see this website pop up first, astroseek.com, Free Astrology 2025. You're going to go to the second one and you're going to click Transit Chart Calculator. And then you're going to see this web page and you're going to scroll down a little bit where it says Transit Chart Online, Free Astrology Calculator, and then you're going to enter your birthday information. I'm just going to enter something random just to give you guys an example. And then you want to make sure that you enter your birth time, because your birth time shows you your houses. If you do not enter your birth time, it will not give you your houses, because that's what makes up your houses. Basically, it sets it up in your birth chart. So then you're going to enter your birth city. And then for the transit date, you're going to enter any time from January 12th, 2025, and then 18 months after. Now, it's important to play around with the date just because the the North Node and the South Node might transit through multiple houses in your chart, depending on how your chart is set up. It really depends on each person's chart. So it might transit one house, it might transit two. Just play around the dates. So you can enter January, you can enter March, August, September for the next 18 months to see if it like switches houses. So I'm going to enter the date January 13th and just like a random time. It doesn't really matter. And then you're going to enter the city you are currently in. And then you're going to click calculate transits. And then it's going to give you your very own transit chart. Now, if this is your first time looking at a transit chart, I understand it does look a bit confusing, but I'm going to take you through everything so I can simplify it for you so you can understand what's going on here and you can read your own transit charts. Now, the number one thing, okay, so we have in this transit chart, we have two things. We have your birth chart, and then we also have the transiting planets, which are the planets in the sky, like currently in the sky on January 13th, 2025. Those are where the planets are placed. So a transit chart basically shows you the relationship between the transiting planets, the current planets, and your birth chart planets, where the planets were the moment that you were born. And this relationship will tell us like if there's challenging energy, if there's harmonious energy, and it will give us a lot of things, and we can predict a lot of things by looking at a transit chart. Now, the transiting planets is what you want to first look at. So the transiting planets are the orange planets in your birth chart. So you see these little symbols on the outer little wheel right here, this outer circle where my cursor is at. These are planets. Planets are points. So this is Chiron right here. This is Jupiter right here. This is the moon. This is Mars. This is Lilith, which is in a planet. This is vortex. And this is Mercury, part of fortune, which is in a planet. That's a point. As the sun, you have Pluto, you have Venus, you have Saturn. You have the North Node and the South Node as well right there, which is what we're going to be looking at today. But you want to be looking at the transiting planets. These orange planets are on the outer wheel. Those are the transiting planets, the planets that are currently in the sky on January 13th, 2025. Okay, so those planets are where the planets are stationed in the sky on that transit chart date. Now, what you see on the inner circle here, this is your birth chart. Okay, so you have where my cursor is, these are the zodiac signs. So you see Cancer, you see Gemini, and then, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Capricorn, Sagittarius, so on and so forth, Virgo, Libra. So those are the zodiac signs in your birth chart. This is your birth chart right here. And then these blue little symbols right here where my cursor is, those are your birth chart placements. Those are your planets. Those are your points. These are exactly where they are, exactly what house they are in your birth chart. And what you see the inner circle right here. You see these numbers. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Okay, you see these numbers on the inner circle. They go from 1 to 12. Those are your 12 houses in your birth chart. Each house represents a specific area of your life. So what we're looking for here is we look at the transiting planets to see what house it's transiting through. For example, this is the cursor for Jupiter. It's transiting, then you trace it, the 6th house. So it's going to be activating your 6th house, and each house represents different areas of your life. So for example, the 1st house represents like your identity, your self-concept, like how you believe others view you to be. Your relationship with yourself is the most like house just about you. It's the house about you, right? The 2nd house is like finances, abundance, your self-worth. 3rd house is communication, and more, your mind, your thinking patterns. 4th house is family, divine feminine energy, your emotional world. The 5th house is like romance, play, fun, your inner child. 6th house is, your day-to-day habits, your health routine, your fitness routine, service to others. 7th house, relationships, and so on and so forth, right? So they're all very, very different areas of your life. So when you look at what house a planet is transiting through, each planet has different energies too. They represent different things, right? So Jupiter is like the planet of abundance and luck and expansion. So whatever house that Jupiter transits through, that is the area of your life that is expanding, that you can have, luck in, abundance in. It's like a very positive planet. So whatever house it's transiting through is going to be positive. It's going to feel positive. And you also want to look at the aspects. Now, do you see the blue and red lines on like the inner circle here, like going crazy? Those are the aspects. So what those represent is the relationship between the transiting planets, these orange planets, and your birth chart planets. So that can tell us the energies between the two planets. Are they getting along, or are they in a bit of a fight? Are they in a challenge, or are they just like free flowing? They're like just friends. So here's a little trick. So the blue lines, we have different aspects, which is a trine, a sextile, we have a conjunction, we have a square, we have an opposition, and then we have a lot of other little ones, but you really don't need to know about that. So we have all those aspects, right? They all mean different things. Here's a trick. The blue line, now this is for AstroSeek only, because a lot of other websites, they have different colors and they have different, things for everything. But the blue lines represent the positive aspects that are happening, okay? So you have a longer blue line like this one right here, and then you have a shorter blue line like this one right there. Now the longer blue line is a trine, 120 degrees. So that represents like the moon trining your Mars sign right there, right? Or Saturn trining your sun, Saturn trining Mercury right there. So it's a very, very positive aspect. A trine is the most positive aspect that you can see in astrology. And the other blue line, the shorter blue line, this is a sextile. And a sextile represents, it's harmonious, it's positive, but it's not as positive as a trine. It's more of like a helpful hand. They're getting along. It's not that crazy of an energy. It's just like a little bit of positivity. And now you have your red lines. So these are more challenging lines. It really depends on the planet and the points and everything else in your chart, right? But generally these are the more challenging, more push and pull of energies also. So what you see here is you see a square. There's no oppositions here, which these are like the shorter red lines that you see here. Those are squares, okay? 60 degrees away from each other. Now, squares are the most challenging aspects. They represent a challenge. They represent friction of energies. They're just not getting along. Those two planets are not getting along, right? So you can really see like what squares you are having at a certain time, see like what kind of challenge you might be having. And it doesn't always have to be negative. It just could be like something that you need to be working on or doing shadow work in as well. And then you can also see like the longer red lines, which represent oppositions. And that can be like a push and pull of energies. It can sometimes be positive, but it's not as challenging as a square. And it really just depends on the aspects, right? Now, what you see on like the houses, right? So the houses are separated into these little like pie slices in your chart. And you have like your planets in the houses. So you have Venus in your 7th house, so on and so forth. Now, what you look for in a transit chart to see how a specific transit or a specific new moon or full moon, how that's going to affect you is first you look for the transiting planet. So for example, we are going to be looking for the north node and the south node today. Now, this is what the north node looks like. I'm going to zoom in on it real quick. It is this one right here. It looks almost like a little horseshoe is where the R is right there. That is the north node. And then you will find the south node, a complete opposition of the north node, which is, it looks just like the south node, but it's like upside down. So that's the south node, and this is the north node. So if you're trying to figure out how a full moon is going to affect you, you would find the moon, which looks like this. If you're trying to figure out how a Mars transit will affect you, you find Mars, which looks like this, and you can just search it up on Google if you don't know the symbols, like Mars symbol astrology. Look at the symbol, and then you find the symbol on the transiting orange planets. Now, next, once you locate your symbol, once you locate the moon or the north node, so for example here, we're locating the north node to see what house it's transiting through, what area of our life is going to be activated and affected. So we have the north node, and you see this little like orange line right next to the north node. You want to follow that orange line with your eyes and just follow your cursor onto your birth chart, and you just keep going. So the orange line is there as well. You keep going, and it is transiting through your 3rd house right here. So the north node is activating this chart's 3rd house, which is communication, mind, and thinking patterns. It's also your siblings, your local community, like your childhood schoolwork and things of that essence. But it's really like communication, your mind, your thinking. So the north node is going to be activating that area of your life. So a lot of creativity in that area of your life, not your life, but in whoever's chart this is. And then you find the south node as well, and you can also trace that. Now you have to want to be very, very precise on like where it is you're going. So here in the south node, it is transiting through the 9th house. It's always going to be like opposite basically, but transiting through the 9th house right there. So it's going to be activating the 9th house. So now you found the houses, and now you just want to decipher, what do the houses mean? I'm going to show you a cheat sheet for the house system, and you can take a screenshot of this right here. But it basically just gives you what each house means. So you want to be looking at where south node and the north node are going to be activated, and looking at the houses. That's the area of your life that is going to be changing for the next 18 months. And that is how you read a transit chart. And it also, a good little tip as well, if you scroll down from this transit chart, it'll tell you the aspects from the transiting planets to your birth chart planet. So it says here, like Saturn is squaring Pluto. It says Jupiter is trining Neptune, Mars is squaring the moon. And then you scroll down more to like the objects, Pluto opposition vertex, Mars conjunction vertex, Mars trining part of fortune. Mars is also trining the south node. That's a great thing to look at, like the aspects of whatever transiting planet or object that you are looking for as well. As you want to pay attention to the aspects, as that will give you a more precise reading on how the energies will affect you. And then you can just see it's literally written out there. And if you scroll down a little bit more, it will literally tell you like Sun is in the 2nd house, Moon is in the 8th house, Mercury is in the 1st house. And let's go to the north node. Is the north node here? I guess it does not show the north node, so you are going to have to look at the chart, but I thought it did, but I guess it doesn't. That's okay. You know how to find your transit chart now, and you know how to read your transit chart. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, if you want me to clarify anything or make another video more in depth about, you know, transit charts and everything, give you more examples, I can totally make that for you guys. Just let me know down in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I know this next chapter of your lives is going to be amazing. I just know it. I believe it. You should believe in it too. I will see you in the next video. Bye.